Welcome to video 2 in our pay-per-click series. In this video, I'm going to share with you a formula that you can use to find out how much money you should be making from your pay-per-click ads. What's up people, Tim here from Exposure Ninja, and in this video I'm going to share with you a killer formula to work out how much you should be spending and making on your pay-per-click ads. So it's a little bit like a recipe in that you need some ingredients before you start working through this formula. So we need to know some data first. The first thing that you need to know is your average order value. So how much on average do customers spend with you? Now we're going to go through an example now. So I'm just going to pick a number for this. Let's say the average order value is £1,000, which means on average every customer that comes into this business, let's use Ninja Smiles, the cosmetic dentistry company, fictitious I might add for now, average order value is £1,000. The next thing that we need to know is we need to know the profit margin. So what percentage of that is going to be profit? Let's say that the profit margin is 50%. So we know that on our average order of £1,000, we're making £500 profit. The next thing that we need to know is the website's conversion rate. So what percentage of your website visitors are turning into sales? So let's say, for example, we're taking a very underperforming average website and we're saying it's converting at 1%, which means we need to get 100 visitors through the site to get one of those sales. So the formula that you're going to use is this. What we need to do first is we need to work out what's called the CPA max. So this is the most that we can afford to spend to get each customer. Now, the most you can afford to spend is your average order value times by your profit margin, right? So in this case, £1,000 times 50%, your maximum that you would be willing to pay to acquire a customer is £500. Now, that might not sound appealing because you're breaking even. Now, breaking even may or may not be good depending on, is this a one-off purchase? If this is a one-off purchase, you don't want to just break even on your sales because then you've got to work and you're not getting anything out the back end. If, however, you know that this is like a gateway purchase and people are going to be spending more over time, or they're going to bring their friends and family, or you're a new business and you want to get credibility and testimonials, you might be willing to break even. But this is the absolute maximum CPA that you would ever want to run. You're not losing money, you're just not making money either. So we've got our CPA max. What we now need to work out is what we can expect our cost per acquisition to be through pay-per-click. So the first thing that we need to know, we need to measure, is how much we're spending per click on average for our target keywords. So let's say in this example with Ninja Smiles, we're going to be spending £2 per click. We know that our website conversion rate is 1%. So if we want to work out what our cost per acquisition for pay-per-click is going to be, it's simply going to be CPC times 100 divided by your conversion rate. And that equals your cost per acquisition from pay-per-click. So what we can get from this example, and stick with me if this is feeling a little bit complicated, trust me, it's easy. I'm going to put a big board around this one to make it feel less complicated and a bit more accessible. So what we're going to get from this one is if we're spending £2 per click, our conversion rate is 1%. We know we need to get 100 visitors. That means we're going to have to spend, or we're going to spend £200 to get each sale. So that's our predicted cost per acquisition through pay-per-click. So it's going to cost us 200, we're going to make 500, or we can afford to spend 500. So if there's a gap there, if your max CPA is higher than your pay-per-click CPA, happy days. You'd be running this all day long, wouldn't you? If you could put £200 in and get £500 out, you'd be shoveling cash into Google's pockets as hard as you possibly could, 24/7. So that's good news. If, however, let's say that your cost per click was £12, right? Let's imagine that this is now £12. Well, we know that we've got to get 100 visitors to the site in order to get each lead or sale. That means it's going to cost us £1,200 to get a lead. Well, 1,200 is higher than your max CPA of 500. Sad times. You're losing £700 every conversion you get. So that's not good, it needs to change. So if you've got a number there that you don't like, if you're gonna be paying too much for every one of your leads, what are the levers that you have to play with? Well, the easiest lever to play with is this one, your conversion rate. Because there are a lot of things that you can do with your website to improve your conversion rate. You're certainly gonna have more control over that than necessarily the amount that you might be spending for each of your clicks. Okay, and we're going to talk in a later video about how you improve the conversion rate of your landing pages. But let's just do another example here. So let's say that we're able to get the conversion rate from 1%, which is really low, which is really poor, to say 4%, okay? So we're able to take that to 4% by, for example, having a dedicated landing page instead of driving the traffic to your website. So what does that start to look like? Well, now we only need to get 25 visitors on the website to get each lead or sale. So if our cost per click is £2, we're spending 25 times £2, so that's £50 per lead. Well, we know that we're gonna make £500 per lead, so that's good news, right? So you can see how improving this conversion rate transforms it. Every percent that you increase your conversion rate from 1%, basically, if you turn that from 1 to 2%, you double your profit. If you turn that from 1 to 4%, you quadruple your profit. So you can see why at Exposure Ninja we're such fans of conversion rate, because it changes the game for all of these metrics. In the next video in this series, we're going to look at the keywords that you're targeting in your pay-per-click ads, because making sure that you're not overpaying for your keywords and making sure you're getting the very best quality traffic is really, really important. If you want some help with this, then don't forget to head over to the Exposure Ninja website to request a free digital marketing review. If you head over to exposureninja.com, you'll see a big green button. If you give that a click, you'll land in our world famous free website and marketing review. We'll ask you a few questions about your business. You'll give us some details, and then one of our team will record you a 15-minute video showing you how to generate more leads and sales through your website. It's completely free of charge. There's no obligation to use our services, although I have to warn you, it is a pretty good sales strategy, so you might end up using us as a result of seeing your video, but there's no obligation to do so. So head over to Exposure Ninja, request your free review, and I'll see you in the next video here.